Toto Wolff believes Mercedes have taken a clear step forward over the winter and that the inconsistency issues which plagued them over the past 3 seasons are no longer apparent. Mercedes saw their cars finish in the top 4 at the season-opening F1 Australian Grand Prix. George Russell enjoyed a lonely race to finish 3rd behind Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Kimi Antonelli recovered from his Q1 exit to secure 4th after his penalty for an unsafe release was revoked. Since the introduction of the ground effect rules in 2022, Mercedes have won just 5 races and often lagged well behind Red Bull, Ferrari, and more recently, McLaren. Wolff feels that Mercedes have a stable platform with their W16 F1 car, and now it's about unlocking more potential and adding performance. We leave Australia with many positives, but also a healthy dose of realism as to where we stand in the pecking order, Wolff said. The W16 provided a stable platform for the drivers, was less prone to swings in performance relative to the conditions than its predecessor, and at moments showed strong enough pace to challenge at the front. It's clear we have taken a good step forward over the winter. Our focus is now on unlocking more potential and adding performance. We are excited for that challenge. While it was a quiet race for Russell, nailing the switch from dry tyres to intermediates ensured he could benefit from Oscar Piastri's off-track moment. Wolff described Russell's race drive as a top performance. The race itself was well executed. We made the right decisions at the right time to claim our first podium of the season. George drove a flawless race, pushing when he needed to, managing his pace to capitalize on the podium, and taking advantage of the opportunities when they presented themselves, he explained. A top performance, and just underlies his speed, maturity, and intelligence. Antonelli went from 16th on the grid to finish 4th. Like Russell, the timing of the switch to intermediates played a crucial role in him scoring a big result on his F1 debut. But given it was his first race in F1, Antonelli's composure, particularly when battling other cars, was impressive. For Kimi, he could not have asked for a more difficult task on his Grand Prix debut, starting out of position, facing extremely difficult conditions, and, at times, a treacherous track, Wolff added. Nevertheless, he handled everything that was thrown at him with a maturity beyond his years. His speed when in free air was impressive, and his confidence and decisiveness when overtaking were superb. There will be challenging moments for him across the season, but we are pleased with the trajectory we are seeing from him already. P4 was a just reward. This observation to Spanish TV adds more weight to the leading fan theory on social media claimed that Pierre Gasly's Alpine triggered the accident by scattering gravel over the track. Alonso crashed out of the Australian Grand Prix on lap 34, losing control of his AMR25 on the exit of turn 6 and hitting the barrier hard. It marked a disappointing start to the season for the 2-time world champion, whose Aston Martin teammate Lance Stroll finished an impressive 6th at Albert Park. Alonso was running directly behind Gasly at the time of the incident, with a clip circulating widely on social media appearing to show Gasly's car kicking up gravel as he navigated turn 6, moments before Alonso lost control and spun. Speaking to DAZN Spain after the race, Alonso insisted that he placed his car where I always do at turn 6 and claimed that the mountain of gravel deposited at the corner caused his spin. He said, "It's one of those races that you don't really enjoy behind the wheel. The white lines are like ice, the visibility is very low. But it's the same for everyone. You try to do better and get some points. Take advantage of the opportunities ahead. There's one lane with the dry line and another wet lane outside it, and you can't overtake the cars in front either, because you have to get into the water if you want to overtake. Difficult. The accident I haven't understood yet either. I didn't touch the gravel, I passed where I always do, but I found a mountain of gravel right where I put the tire, and I lost the car. A very costly mistake, or incident for the team unfortunately." Alonso produced one of the most impressive saves in recent history at last year's Chinese Grand Prix after dipping a wheel into the strip of gravel located on the outside of the final corner. Ahead of his return to Shanghai this weekend, the 43-year-old quipped that the Chinese GP circuit lacks a ghost hanging over the drivers like the gravel trap at Melbourne's turn 6. He added, "I love China. It's a track we've always been good at. And we don't have the gravel that we have here at turn 6. I think it's been a ghost we've always had hanging over us every time we go through that point of the circuit, and it's played a trick on me again in the race." Andy Cowell, the Aston Martin team principal, backed Alonso's suggestion that his accident may have been triggered by gravel on the track. Yet he stressed the need for the Kren to understand more about the AMR25's characteristics after the car reacted to the gravel. He told media in Melbourne, "We don't know whether there was a bit of gravel build-up from other people kicking gravel off, but the car reacted in turn 6, and the crash was the result of that." Turn 6 at Albert Park was altered for the 2025 race after George Russell's major accident at the end of the 2024 race, for which Alonso was penalized for what the FIA steward's verdict described as potentially dangerous driving. So Toto Wolff reveals encouraging Mercedes' conclusion after F1 Australian GP. Like and comments below.